Hello everyone. Before this video starts, I would just like to mention a quick warning. In this video, I'm going to be talking about mental illness and mental health, such as depression and anxiety. I'm also going to be talking about relationships and toxic relationships, and I'm also going to be talking about suicide/suicidal thoughts and the treatment that I went through. So if you are uncomfortable with any of those themes, please don't watch this video for your own safety, and if you are comfortable with any of those themes, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hi everyone, I'm back from my unannounced break. That has how long? It's been a month, a whole month. Goodness, I've been on a break, and I didn't really tell many people about it. I did get messages from a couple people being like, oh my god, are you dead? Are you alive? Where'd you go? Please tell me that you didn't get abducted by aliens. I didn't, I promise. Well, maybe I did and I just don't remember, but anyways, that's why I'm here, to basically talk about where the heck have I been. This video is going to be very different from my other videos because in my other videos it's all about voice acting, but here it's just talking about personal stuff, which I'm not really used to talking about personal stuff to an audience of this size, even though I only have 900 something. I don't know. That's kind of small. That's big to me. That's bigger than my school size. So that's kind of but I just want to talk about it, and some of you may not like it and some of you might find it interesting. I don't know. But I want to talk about it because I think it's very important to talk about these sort of issues, especially with everything going on right now in the world. I think we're all just kind of tired of the pandemic and racism and all of the stuff going on with, the American government basically trying to kill their people. I just want to talk about this because I think it's an important issue, not just in, America, because I live in America, but I think as a society and as a global issue, I think it's very important to talk about stuff like this. And since I'm a Gen Z, I feel like our generation is going to change the world for the better. So I think the more we talk about these issues, the less stigmatized they will be. So here I go. Oh boy. So on May 22nd, so basically 1 month ago, on May 22nd, I had probably one of the worst mental breakdowns I've had in my entire life. And I've had a lot. Being in college and in high school, I've experienced mental breakdowns, but I have never experienced a mental breakdown to the point where I just wanted to completely die, I have had depression. Well, I still have depression. I've had, depressive episodes in my life, but they weren't to this capacity. Is that the right word? I'm going to say to this capacity because I've had depressive episodes before, and when I've had a depressive episode, it's kind of it's here for a couple days and then it kind of leaves, and then it's here for a couple days and it kind of leaves. But this was one of those episodes where it wasn't going to leave that easily because there were so many things going on in my life that were triggering my depression, and my anxiety levels were also really, really bad. I was on edge every time I checked my social media and my Discord and my YouTube notifications because of something that had happened to me personally. I'm not going to get into any details because I don't want to be disrespectful to this person, but my ex was cyberly, I would say he was harassing me on my social medias. So he had commented on a couple of my videos, and he came into my Discord server and he kind of released some of my personal info, like my actual name, which is not cool because my actual name is not Iris. I go by Iris to stay anonymous. And all of the stuff that was happening and all the messages he was sending me and other people, he sent messages to other people too, and even like people that I knew in the YouTube voice acting community. And I was just like on edge, like 24/7. Every time I checked my social media, I was on edge and I was constantly checking it, like every like minute. And it was just so bad. It made my stress levels go so high to the point when I had this mental breakdown. What the heck was that? Was that a firework? Oh, my bad. But it was to the point where this mental breakdown was like one of the worst ones I had, because I was sobbing uncontrollably this was at like 1 a.m. in the morning. It was really, really bad. And it got to the point where I made the decision to admit myself to a psychiatric hospital. So for those of you who don't know, when you are having a mental breakdown, say at 1 a.m. in the morning like I was, you can go through a psychic emergency entrance, which is basically if you are at the point where you want to die or commit suicide, you can go through this entrance and they will admit you straight away. I was admitted straight away, but I had to wear a mask because of the virus, and they screened me, and they took my blood pressure and they took blood samples, and they actually had me go through a metal detector, and they patted me down. And it was really scary because I was just so overwhelmed with everything that was going on. And on top of that, my stress and anxiety and my depression were just making it really worse. And I was also really tired because it was late at night. So they brought me into this waiting room, and I met with a bunch of doctors and nurses, and I talked to them, and I was like, yeah, I want to die. I just straight up told them I wanted to die. But, I wanted to die. I felt like I wanted to die, but, I didn't actually want to die because, to be honest, I don't mean to make a joke of this, but, I am too much of a pussy to kill myself, my pain tolerance is, so high, so, I don't like pain. So the thought of me killing myself is I don't want to feel any pain. I just want to just go. It sounds really sad when you think about it, but that was my mindset. That was my mindset going into the hospital. And before I could actually go onto the unit, I had to be tested for the virus. So I had to wait about 6 hours in the waiting room to get my results back. And they basically got me a couch to sleep on, so I slept in the waiting room for about 3 to 4 hours. And then I got my results, and they drew my blood. They took a ton of blood from me. And then I was brought up to the unit, but they had to pat me down again. And yeah. The first day being on the psych ward was really, really overwhelming for me. It was so many nurses and doctors coming to talk to you, and it was my first time in a psych ward, so I was not used to being in a psych ward, There were people there who had been there before, but it was my first time, and I was one of the youngest people on the unit, and me being 20, but also looking 15, you're like, are you supposed to be on this unit? I was asked that a lot of times by other patients, and I was like, yeah, I'm 20, so, But the first day, I just remember sleeping like the whole day. I didn't even really talk to anyone. I did meet with one of the doctors, but the whole time I was in meeting with the doctor, I cried the whole time. And even when I called my parents on the phones, because they have like wall phones and they're like old from like the 80s, I was on the phone crying to my parents. But I knew that if I wanted to get better and that I wanted to not feel this way anymore, I needed to get treatment. But I am kind of grateful for admitting myself to a psych ward because I met so many amazing people in a psych ward of all places. They're on the psych ward is kind of a mix of ages. So there are people in their 40s, their 50s, their 30s, their 20s, their 80s. There were some people in their 70s, in their 60s, and I met so many like amazing people that were like older than me and were able to share their wisdom. And me like dealing with my past relationship, they were able to give me some advice, and I really it really opened up my eyes to basically what I've dealt with since the start of quarantine. And it was a very eye-opening experience, and would I do it again? I don't want to, but if I were to meet those people again, I would be very happy because I met so many amazing people that you don't think you would meet in a psych ward. A lot of people give psych wards bad rep, but I think it's mainly because the adolescence unit is more of the yikes part of a psych ward, but the adult units, they're actually like pretty chill, and like none of us were high risk, or like none of us were like threatening to kill people. So that's kind of what made it such a like nice environment, I think. But I did meet with a couple doctors after I met with the doctor on the first day, and I finally was assigned my doctor, and I was the only one that had this doctor on the unit, so I kind of felt lucky because she was a young doctor, and she listened to me, she listened to my concerns, and we agreed on most things. And she prescribed me an antidepressant, so I was prescribed Zoloft, which is a very common antidepressant given to women my age. It's like very safe for women of childbearing years. That's what they told me. I'm like, great. Not gonna have any kids anytime soon, but thanks for telling me that anyway. But yeah, so they started me on 25 milligrams, which is the starting dose. And then they bumped me up to 50 while I was in there. And after probably 4 days of being in the psych ward, my mood instantly got better. I was smiling, I was happy, and all the nurses and therapists that were on our unit were like, you are a completely different person when you're not depressed. And I'm like, I get that a lot. Trust me, I get that a lot. But all the nurses, when I was eventually discharged from the psych ward, all the nurses and therapists told me how much it was a pleasure to treat me. And one nurse even said, you are one of the best patients I've had here, and I've worked here for 19 years. And I was like, oh my God. I kind of got my spirit back from going there, and I just felt like myself again, and I felt like nothing could really knock me down anymore, and I came out stronger than I came in, that's for sure. once I was discharged, I was immediately put into a partial day program at the hospital, which is a program where basically where I went there for, again, another week and a half, and I was there from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Not on Saturdays and Sundays though, so I got the weekends off. And it was a group of young adults, so people around my age, some younger, some older. And again, like the first couple days, I was kind of adjusting, so I didn't really participate as much. But after those first couple days, I started, opening up and talking about my experiences, and there were quite a few people who were going into their first year of college, and me being an RA next semester, I was able to give them a lot of advice on, being an RA and, or no, not being an RA, what the heck? Being a first-time freshman and, like, what to bring, because so many people asked me, what do I bring to college? And I'm like, you don't bring 50 pairs of shoes. You do not need 50 pairs of shoes. So it was just, like, another good experience. And we did have, like, people online as well, so we got to talk a lot about, current issues, as well as our own personal issues with, like, relationships, family. Some people talked about how their family didn't really get their mental illness. And, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Like, when I first, like, felt like I had depression, I told my mom, and she's like, you're not depressed. And now that I'm 20 and on 75 milligrams of Zoloft and diagnosed with severe depression, she's like, okay, I'm going to research and understand this better. And so my parents have gotten better at understanding mental illness because I've been diagnosed with one. No, actually two, possibly three. We're working on it. Like, I'm just a whole mess of just, like, I have depression, I have anxiety. My psychiatrist thinks I might have ADHD, so it's great, have insomnia because of that, so, great. But I was discharged from that program a week ago, and it's been a whole week, and I still feel good. I am still trying to rest because, that's what the doctors and psychiatrists and therapists have been telling me to do. They're telling me not to overwork, basically, because I have a tendency to do that. So that's why I haven't been uploading. I'm going to try to get back onto my uploading schedule soon. I need to write a few things first before I can get back to my uploading schedule. I think I'm just going to be uploading twice a week now because it is the summer. I know I probably have enough time to do 3 uploads a week, but I'm going to just do 2 uploads a week now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But if I have the energy and motivation to upload on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I will make sure to do that. And yeah, I think that's about it. I just want to say, before I end this video, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of my friends who have been very supportive of me going through this treatment and getting help and getting treatment in the first place. I really appreciate all of you, and I just appreciate all of your patience, especially the viewers, because I've been gone for like a month, and you have all been really, really patient, and I'm very grateful for that. And we're almost at 1K, which is really crazy to me. So thank you all so much for nearly 1K. That's insane to me. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you all for watching and listening, and hopefully I'll be back to my regular uploading schedule next week. Thank you guys. Iris out.